Students and guests, you may now be seated. Good afternoon. My name is Andy Martiri, head of school. I have been head of school since last June 8th, so it has almost been a full year, but there are still many people that I have not yet met, so hello. Now that you are seated, you may take off your mask if you wish. Students, you may leave your mask off if you wish as you come to the stage to get your diploma and pose for the picture. When the ceremony is over, we ask that guests and students wear your mask while you leave the tent and head to your cars, except, of course, you may take your mask off while posing for pictures. I welcome everyone to the Commencement Exercises for the class of 2021. I am thrilled not to be welcoming millions of cicadas who have mercifully stayed away from campus thus far, thank goodness. One of the many things that keep me up at night, worried about cicadas. We are here to honor and celebrate the members of the class of 2021, who, during the biggest health challenge and the biggest educational challenge of our lifetimes, made it to the finish line with flying colors. Seniors, you did it. You are all graduating. Congratulations. Thank you, seniors. Thank you for your commitment to health and safety, your commitment to each other, for your leadership, and for your many, many contributions to Tatnall over the years. We are thankful for you. We are proud of you. We will miss you, and we wish you the very best in college and beyond. On behalf of the faculty and staff, I would like to thank the parents and family members of the class of 2021. You have supported your children during truly unprecedented times and partnered with the school as we implemented safety protocols, changed schedules, and did our best to keep your children safe and sound. Seniors and faculty, let's give the parents one more big round of applause. Thank you, parents. The faculty and staff, and we've got some here, but not everyone because of space limitations. The faculty and staff answered the call this year big time. 100%, I'll say it again, 100% of our teachers taught from school this year during a global pandemic. To say that they were dedicated to the success of the students would be a huge understatement. A special thank you to those who played a direct role in making today's ceremony happen. Please hold your applause until I've read the list of names. Mr. Fontanazza and the facilities team. Today is actually Mr. Fontanazza's birthday. Happy birthday, Mr. Fontanazza. We won't sing to him, but happy birthday. Mr. Schluter, Mrs. Clayton, Mrs. Paige McConnell, Mrs. Horan, Mrs. Morgan, and Mayor Mike Perzicki for his time and wisdom. Thank you very much. The Board of Trustees is not here because of space limitations, but the trustees are represented today by Board President Steve Marvin. The board has been extremely supportive of me and the entire school community this year, giving us the resources we needed to be successful, as well as strong moral support through this challenging but outstanding school year. I just spent a few minutes expressing my gratitude and our gratitude to parents, faculty and staff, trustees, students. Seniors, I encourage you to remember that people are the most important part of any equation. Even though we have been preaching social distancing, I imagine there will be some hugs when the ceremony concludes. I don't think that you will be hugging a building or hugging one of your math books. No, you will hug your family and friends and teachers. I like to say that people make a school special. People make a school special. People make a college special. People make any organization special. On the flip side, people can have a negative influence on an organization. much more than a poorly designed building can. Dr. Edward Miller, former CEO of Johns Hopkins Medicine, said, quote, "No matter how historic or iconic, a building is merely bricks and mortar. It's the dedicated people within that building who truly make it great." People matter indeed. Seniors, you should continue to work on the quality of your relationships, whether that be with family, your Tatnall friends, your new college friends, and your professors. Here's a tip, seniors. Swing by your professor's office hours sometime in the first month or so of college. Tell your professor that you're enjoying class, whether you are or not. Ask a question or two. It might help you in the class, and it might be the start of a great relationship, someone who could be an advisor or mentor to you down the line. What are office hours, you're asking? They are specific and finite times when your professors are available, like the third Thursday every other month for 30 minutes from 3:45 to 4:15 p.m. Otherwise, they might not be there. And no, they will not be in your classrooms every morning by 7:30 or 7:45 like your amazing Tatnall teachers are. But I digress. Seniors, work on your relationships. Do not take them for granted. And it's a whole lot easier now than when I was in college a full generation ago. There was no Facebook, no Instagram. There were not even cell phones. Believe it or not, there was no Wi-Fi, not even the internet. We had to make phone calls from a payphone or from the one phone in your room that you shared with 3 other people. We had this thing called a calling card. Or there was a bill for the room, and you had to figure out who made what call and then pay for them. You actually had to make a real effort to make a phone call or to write a letter by hand. Now, of course, you can text, connect via social media, but make sure you do it. Stay in touch with your friends. Stay in touch with your siblings and your parents. Seniors, you've spent a lot of time with your parents during COVID, right? A lot. They're going to be in withdrawal. Believe me, I was when my children went to school this fall. They might pester you a little bit with text messages, phone calls. Please respond to your parents in some sort of timely way. In fact, I suggest making a deal with them. Don't bother me too much, parents, but when you do, I'll respond. Your parents love you, they want the best for you, and they worry about you. So a quick reply that you are okay will go a long way. Seniors, I wish you every success and happiness. We at Tatnall send you off with our love, our very best wishes. Thank you very much, and congratulations again. It is now my pleasure to introduce Mr. Bill Schluter, the head of the upper school.
Thank you, Andy. I would like to invite the faculty to join me in the faculty prayer. Almighty God, Heavenly Father, who has blessed us with the joy and care of children, give us light and strength so to train them that they may love whatsoever things are true and pure and lovely and of good report, following the example of our Lord. Amen. I would now like to invite Zayon Burrell to come up for the class gift.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming as we celebrate the great class of 2021. My name is Zayon Burrell. I've been at Tatnall for 4 years, entering as a freshman. Now I am a senior class officer and a student ambassador. At this time, I am proud to announce that this year's senior gift will be a $1,000 contribution towards a gender-neutral bathroom inside the Tatnall School. We believe that we're taking a step in the right direction for our commitment to diversity and inclusion. Thank you.
And it's my pleasure now to invite Amanda Janas to the stage for the cum laude address.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. First, I want to thank Dr. Martiri, the Board of Trustees, teachers, parents, families, everyone watching online, and of course, my fellow graduates. Class of 2021, we did it. It is such an honor to be speaking here today. I never would have thought that moving to a different state before my sophomore year would have come to this. It's a testament to how welcoming, inclusive, and kind Tatnall has been to me, and I thank you so much for that. To my classmates, although some of you have been together since preschool, you let this new kid in. Thank you for your friendship. I would also like to give a special thanks to our teachers, coaches, and staff. We are forever grateful for your passion for teaching and genuine concern for our well-being. Beyond academic knowledge, the life lessons you taught us will stay with us for years to come. Thank you for always going above and beyond, especially during the pandemic when you adapted curricula, struggled with Zoom alongside us, and risked your health to be in person with us. We will always cherish our memories of you. Some of you may know that I identify feathers as a party trick. Most of the feathers I find are byproducts of a process called molting, through which a bird must lose its old and tattered feathers in order to make room for the new. This is not an easy time. It takes an immense amount of energy to grow new feathers, and any stress experienced during this period literally shapes the feathers because they become warped with stress lines. Like birds with feathers grown under stress, we have been shaped by unrest and uncertainty. Ongoing social injustices and violence in our country has shattered our illusions and will continue to impact us long after we leave Tatnall. That being said, I believe we rose to the occasion with more Tatnall affinity groups organizing school-wide cultural presentations than ever before, and students across divisions taking the initiative to lead tough conversations. We've realized that our perspectives are often incomplete or inaccurate due to our limited points of view. Therefore, we must keep our hearts and minds open to new information, ideas, and viewpoints. In March of our junior year, the pandemic reared its ugly head. We pivoted to a new normal, social distance to flatten the curve, and hoarded toilet paper. We faced unprecedented challenges, tremendous losses, and great uncertainty over the past year, but we will continue to deal with struggles throughout our lives. In times of adversity and personal setbacks, sometimes the most impactful thing we can control is our reaction. So stay positive. Focus on what you can do to help the situation, no matter how small, instead of feeling overwhelmed by what you can't. Be resourceful and don't hesitate to ask for help. Now with the vaccine, we face the return to normal. Instead of dwelling on the negatives, let's celebrate our resilience and flexibility. Let's be grateful to everyone who planned and implemented a safe return for us this school year, and let's focus on what we may have gained from the pandemic. Ask yourself, what is truly important to you? What couldn't you do that you really missed? And what did you not miss? Keep that in mind as you decide where to allocate your time and energy as we return to normal. In addition, try to find the silver lining in missed opportunities. I know many of us had plans for last summer that didn't work out because of the pandemic. Personally, I was unable to do what would have been my dream internship at the Smithsonian's Feather Lab. Of course I was disappointed, but by taking a step back and exploring other options, I was able to branch out into directions I had never considered before. So going forward, cast a wide net and find out what you like and what you do best by trying several things, instead of ruling out opportunities based on who you think you are right now. Explore in college or wherever you're headed next. Take interesting classes in unfamiliar subjects, try new activities and join clubs, and befriend people who might look different and think differently than you. Essentially, be open to change. During lockdown, I spent a lot more time outside, where I discovered that there's no cure better than fresh air and birdsong. We are very lucky that the Tatnall campus offers us outdoor classrooms, trails, and a wealth of flora and fauna. Nature will help you gain perspective of a world larger than yourself, and daily stresses will pale in comparison. And when you connect with nature, I hope you feel a genuine motivation to help save the planet, because if we each do our part, we can collectively make a huge difference. I also spent more time with my family last year than ever before. Although the extra time around the same people in close quarters during a time of great uncertainty inevitably resulted in stress and friction, I hope you also found some benefit to your families and comfort in one another. Thank you to parents, parental figures, and mentors for all your love and support. To my 4 parents, I love you, and I will make sure to call you from college every once in a while. Okay, maybe more like every week, or when I need money. My fellow graduates, your feathers may be a bit warped, a bit ragged, but they serve as a testament to everything you've survived. As you begin to molt into your next set of feathers, take some time to rest. With any luck, you'll emerge bigger and better from the ordeals of the past, ready to take on whatever the future can throw at you. You know how to challenge your assumptions, to stay positive, and to explore the unknown. Friends, it's time to leave the nest. We've never been better prepared, so spread your wings and fly. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. Now I would like to invite Dr. Martiri up to the podium for the presentation of the Class of 2021 Traditional Awards. The first is the Wooden Spoon Award. The Wooden Spoon is voted for by the senior class to select the senior boy and girl on the qualities of integrity, sincerity, consideration, cooperation, courtesy, and school spirit. This year's winners are Mia Rose Farina and Jack Petnero Wilkinson. Congratulations. Well done. Congratulations. The Triangle Pin is the school's highest award. It was established by Mrs. Tatnall and is presented to the member of the senior class who, in the judgment of the faculty, best represents the standards and ideals of the school. It includes scholarship, but the award also recognizes significant contributions to the extracurricular program, as well as those less tangible qualities of character that make for the happiness for the whole social group. Integrity, sincerity, consideration of others, unselfishness, cooperation, courtesy, and a willingness to see another point of view and to treat it sympathetically. This year's winner is Martha Virginia Holler. Congratulations. And now I would like to turn the podium back to Dr. Martiri.
Let's give a big round of applause to our 3 award winners from today. Very deserving. Congratulations. Also, I point your attention to the program where you will see the list of winners from the awards day a few days ago, as well as our cum laude students who were recognized for their cumulative high academic achievement. Let's give those students a round of applause. So, Every head of school has a little trick up his or her sleeve every so often, and I have one today before I introduce the mayor. The Tatnall Alumni Association presents a wonderful award every year, with the recipient sometimes being a current faculty or staff member, but often a retired faculty or staff member. The members of the administrative team and I thought it would be very appropriate and very fitting for the school to create a new additional award to honor a current member of the faculty and staff every year for meritorious service. It is my great honor to introduce and present the very first Tatnall School Excellence in Service Award, which will be given annually to a member of the faculty and staff for outstanding performance and exemplary teamwork during the course of that academic year. All employees with 3 or more years of full-time service are eligible for the award. Our inaugural recipient of the Excellence in Service Award is someone whose work ethic was indefatigable, whose skills were truly integral to our success, who modeled our mantra of being flexible and nimble, and who partnered in a professional manner with every single student, every single family, every single member of the faculty and staff this year. There were many faculty and staff members whose performance this year was exceptional, but no one matched the year of someone whom I have frequently called the most valuable hornet, Nurse Mary Garrett. This is why Mary had to come today, and Mary's family is here. And Mary, go see your family in the corner of the tent. Let's give Mary another huge round of applause. She was phenomenal. All right, I couldn't look at Mary or I would have just sort of broken down and wept. I almost got there, but we're really pleased to establish this award, and Mary was a phenomenal inaugural recipient. And Mary, you can stay. You don't have to leave after you say hi to your family. You can stick around. Stick around and get congratulations afterwards. So I now have the great pleasure of introducing the Honorable Michael S. Perzicki, the Mayor of Wilmington, who many of you know better as Gage's dad. Mayor Perzicki is currently serving his second 4-year term. His time as mayor has been driven by his desire to see the city run at a high level of efficiency, to increase the level of shared prosperity, and to confront the problems too many cities experience. Mayor Perzicki was born in Newark, New Jersey, graduated from Seton Hall Prep in 1963, and earned a football scholarship to the University of Delaware, where he played for 4 years and set every Blue Hen receiving record. After graduating with a degree in history, he signed a contract with the New York Giants football team for the 1967-68 season, when an injury sidelined his pro football career. The mayor has had a very diverse and varied work background. He worked at IBM in data processing sales as a stockbroker, and then in real estate while attending Delaware Law School at night. He served as an attorney for the Delaware State Senate and was elected to Newcastle County Council, where he served for 9 years. In 1996, Mayor Perzicki was tapped to head the Riverfront Development Corporation and was tasked with the challenging job of resurrecting the blighted industrial wasteland along the Christina River. He and his team did what many said would be impossible. They reinvented and reinvigorated the former World War II shipyard into an economic, cultural, and social hub of the city, which included over $1 billion of public and private investment, including the Chase Center, the Peterson Wildlife Refuge, and 2 miles of Riverwalk. During his tenure as mayor, the city has seen almost $1 billion of private investment injected into the local economy. Thousands of new apartments, hotel rooms, and dining destinations have breathed new life into the city. Wilmington has also invested $14 million in its neighborhood parks and public spaces. And since citizens always talk about roads and potholes, 26 miles of city streets have been paved and repaired. Please join me in welcoming and thanking Mayor Mike Perzicki.
I'm always embarrassed by that football stuff. It was 100 years ago. Mr. Martiri, Mr. Schluter, and faculty, trustees, and parents, family members, class of 2021. I'm so very pleased to be with you here today and consider it an honor to have been asked to give the commencement address. Betty and I love Tatnall. I think it's so funny because I'm going to say, oh, you can tell the parents by the ones who are crying. And, you know, I'm a parent, so forgive me. You know, I think more than ever now. We count 13 family members who've attended this wonderful school. So let me first congratulate me and Betty and all the parents. They're the ones who sacrifice the most, the ones with the buttons popping off their chests and the tears in their eyes. I also want to acknowledge sincerely the backbone of every school, the dedicated teachers and administrators who so profoundly influence our lives in ways that our young people are yet to appreciate. But all of us, everyone has a special coach or a special teacher that we remember in our lives. And what a gift to have spent your life in that profession. They say you never forget the people who are kind to your children, and that's so true, and you know who you are. I must say that being asked to deliver a commencement speech is a challenge. We're expected to convey wisdom without preaching, to say something memorable, insightful, perhaps to entertain, and I have to do this in 10 minutes without embarrassing Gage. And so I searched my memory for the very best commencement speeches I had ever heard throughout my lifetime and thought I would borrow from them. I could not remember a single shred of wisdom or wit from any speech that I ever heard. Moreover, I couldn't remember a single person who gave them. Yesterday, someone sent me a speech given by Admiral Bill McRaven to the graduating cadets at the Naval Academy. I thought I'd try it and see what it is I could borrow for today. He didn't get into the second minute and he said, I went back and looked for a good speech and I couldn't remember a single thing anybody said. So I'm convinced today that there is a special black hole for commencement addresses and speakers. With that sobering realization, then, let me try to pass along a few thoughts. First, an observation about life in general. As young Jack Wilkinson eloquently suggested last night, making mistakes in life is important. It is counterintuitively the only path to success. You learn nothing from victories, only failures. So learn to embrace your mistakes. The best way to repeat them is to blame someone else for them. The lesson is clear. Take risks, embrace your errors, admit your mistakes, and you will slowly perfect your chosen craft. You have finished your high school years in the grip of a terrible health crisis. You're going to talk about this for the rest of your life. We still talk about the Spanish flu in 1918 and none of us was there. But every generation has something like this. This isn't the only crisis that's ever happened in this country. When I was your age, senior in high school, I remember standing in the schoolyard as the United States and Russia squared off in what became known as the Cuban Missile Crisis. I'm looking around here, not too many of you old enough to remember this, as personally as I do. Betty says she remembers, you don't remember. But Russia decided to send nuclear weapons to Cuba to aim right at the United States. And so President Kennedy said this can't happen. He sent a flotilla of battleships and destroyers out into the Atlantic to meet the Russian ships. And we all sat around thinking that the world was going to be incinerated any second. That's how frightening it was for 1 month during that time. Was that all that happened during my high school years? No. The year after, actually I was a freshman at the University of Delaware, John F. Kennedy was assassinated. 5 years later, his brother Bobby Kennedy, a candidate for president, was assassinated. Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated. And all of this took place during the Vietnam War when 58,000 kids died. Hundreds of thousands sent home injured with injuries that affected their lives forever. So what's the lesson? Life is never easy. We're never as safe as we want to be. And if we want a better and safer world, we all have the responsibility to work for it. Luckily, that was page 1. Yeah. So in conclusion, nevertheless, it is a thrilling time to be alive. The digital world you all live in creates exciting new frontiers. It creates headaches for people my age because I have no idea what's going on. This world that you are so familiar with is foreign to people near my age. Gage's Brothers here is the president of a company with 30 million influencers and followers, and he gets paid for creating and marketing memes, whatever they are. You all stand on the threshold of a new era in science. Nothing seems impossible. Modern medicine can cure disease, replace worn-out body parts, and probe the mysteries of our DNA and, more frighteningly, seek to modify it. Algorithms inerrantly predict our behaviors. Nanorobots will seek and destroy cancer cells in our bodies. Science is opening up windows to the very beginning of the formation of the universe. Every bit of knowledge known to mankind is accessible through your handheld device. YouTube alone has 720,000 hours of content uploaded each and every day. If you want to see what YouTube uploaded yesterday, it will take you 82 years. And that's a fact. And that's the world that we're living in. But I remind you that it won't only be the wonders of math and science that create the richness in your lives. It will still be the arts, literature and music, those mirrors of our humanity, the reflections of our grief and joys, our triumphs and despair that plumb the depths of our soul and enrich our lives. So I recommend that you become an enthusiastic reader and learn to love the arts. You'll be a happier, more knowledgeable, and better person for doing it. Remember when I said I couldn't remember a single commencement address? That's true. But I've never forgotten a speech someone gave 50 years ago when I was working at IBM at the age of 22 years old. I was told a story about a very wealthy man who got lost getting off the interstate in Michigan. He got off the wrong exit and went into the middle of Detroit in a really, really tough neighborhood. As he's trying to figure out how to get back on, all of a sudden his car coughs and it stalls. He was terrified being in an unfriendly neighborhood. No cell phones in those days, no way to call for help. He had to find a phone booth, if you can ever remember what they look like. But you had to walk around to find one because they weren't on every corner. But that meant getting out of his car. He saw two scary characters standing under a light post staring at him. He was sure they would try to rob him. One of the men approached them. Afraid to open the window, he heard the man ask what the problem was. He told him the car stalled and it won't start. The man said, "Pop the hood." Heart pounding, he did what he was asked. In a few minutes of doing what people in those days who knew about cars could do, he said, turn the key, see if it'll start. With much relief, the car started. After thanking the stranger effusively who refused payment, he drove away feeling sheepish, even guilty for his prejudices about someone he didn't even know. This rich man was humbled. The speaker left us with a short rhyme that I remember to this day, a half a century later. He said, "Never met a man who couldn't do something better than me. Never met a man I couldn't do something better than he. Never met a woman who couldn't do something better than me. Never met a woman I couldn't do something better than she." The lesson is that everybody has talent. Everybody has value and should be treated accordingly. Never judge anyone by their appearance or until you've walked a mile in their shoes. You all have been privileged just to have been here in this splendid place, in this beautiful tent, on this beautiful campus. You have loving parents and teachers who care deeply for you. You've not succeeded all by yourself. Be grateful and have humility. You've had great fortune. The Bible tells us that to whom much is given, much will be required. Remember to extend a hand in this life to others who've not been as fortunate as you have. Now, the generation which preceded mine was called the greatest generation because it saved the world from the horrors of Nazism during World War II, and I suspect you all studied that. And in many ways, the generation was great. But that generation, like Americans before it, suffered from a narrow-minded belief in its own elevated status in society, accompanied by a rigid moral certitude. It ignored the biblical injunctions to treat others as you would be treated, and what the Constitution said about all men being equal. They were good people, but they were judgmental and intolerant. They treated women condescendingly and racial minorities poorly at best. Sexual orientation was not even open for discussion. They would be utterly shocked at the world as they would find it today. The generations which came after, including mine, were better in this regard, but still not nearly good enough. They thought they could make the world better simply by changing laws, but only as long as the laws didn't inconvenience them. Their minds were changing, but their hearts were slow to change, especially when it came to reaching out and learning to accord respect to others. They never understood that you cannot know someone or love someone from across the street or from across town. You have to exist proximate to them. Tatnall, you can be proud of this student body and what it represents to our larger community. It means hope for a country going through a difficult reckoning with our own history and most particularly our racial history. Thank you. You may be surprised to know that I believe that our hope as a society depends on young people, including your generation, because I believe you're simply not as burdened with bias, personal insecurity, and petty resentments as those who precede you. I know many of you. I listened to your words last night. I listened to Amanda today. I think you have something to teach the teachers. You can lead the leaders. You can show us the way. You can lead our country by your example, and if necessary, shame our country into becoming a more just society. And in so doing, you can create a brighter future for all of us. Lastly, say this. One day, some of you will be asked to deliver a commencement speech. I pray you will not start the speech by saying, I cannot remember a single thing any commencement speaker ever said. God bless you all. Congratulations on this diploma. You earned it.
Mayor Perzicki, thank you so much. We will recall your words for years to come, and not just because a page of your speech flew off. I've never seen that happen before, but we really do thank you, particularly your words about justice and treating all with respect and love. Please join me again in thanking Mayor Perzicki. We have a small gift for him in the school. Thank you.
So I'll be certain to hold on to my pages here. And it's now my pleasure and honor to speak about the class of 2021, present the class, and for them to receive their diplomas. So good evening, everyone. I assured the class that I would try to keep my comments short. I do have their attention one final time, and I'd like to make several observations about them. So occasionally, admittedly, I really struggle with these comments from year to year to try to characterize an entire class. It often is not easy. Believe me, with this class, I most emphatically do not have that issue. My first distinct memory of you all was as the new head of upper school in the early fall of 2017. When I was pulled into a 9th grade class meeting in Mr. Marshall's room, room 252, with the director of student life at the time. I think the general message to the class that you were all headed to hell in a handbasket if you did not shape up. And this was in the first couple weeks of the 9th grade school year, and I may be exaggerating a bit on that message, but that was basically the intent. Now, I have to admit that I was a bit taken aback at the time by the message, but I was a rookie in this role. But I can only imagine, in hindsight, how the 22 new students to Tatnall School must have felt in that room when that was the message that they heard on week 2 or 3. By the way, I would just add to the class of 2021 that I believe we're on the 3rd director of student life since that person, and I think that's merely coincidental and not based on your behavior in any shape, manner, or form. At least I think so. So I certainly got to know you all better in the intervening years, and I developed a much more nuanced impression of you as a group. I think it's first and foremost, you can be very opinionated and competitive. I learned that firsthand when I taught 15 of you world history as 10th graders. You are a class of strong personalities, and I realize, despite some braggadocio, you care deeply about Tatnall. 12 of you are lifers and have arrived at the school in the Early Childhood Center. And the past year has challenged you in ways that we never could have imagined. When I spoke with a member of the class of 2020 last December, I think we had an event on campus right before we broke for the holidays, and as he drove by in the car, this graduate from last year's class, I said to him, "So how's your experience going so far in your first year of college?" And his response was, "It kind of sucks." Now, that resonated with me because I think for a lot of people, that's their reaction to the past year. I think you've heard that from me as the head of the division more than a few times this year. It's a really tough time. It's kind of sucked for a lot of people. But don't forget that it was tough for your parents. It was tough for your faculty. It was tough for your siblings. So we made it through, and congratulations. You've accomplished wonderful things. So in rising to the occasion, I think you've come to handle things in ways that you may not even recognize now. Hopefully you will in the future with a little bit of time that has elapsed. You certainly have persevered and excelled in the classroom. Your classroom acceptance list is exceptional. Well done. Somehow you pulled off virtual productions of Almost Maine and a playbill musical medley this year that were extraordinary, particularly under the circumstances. You found much success athletically. Cross country, boys and girls basketball, track, girls lax, all had very, very successful seasons. And proofing this year's yearbook, and that's one of the perks I have in this position, along with Lindsay Greenberg, the current director of student life, I was struck by many of your comments. I was perhaps maybe anticipating a bit of negativity over what you'd experienced, but there was none of that. Your comments were indicative of passion for each other, a passion for Tatnall School, and passing on positive experiences to the next generation of students and having the same kinds of experiences that you have come to value. And I really was reassured by those generous comments and sentiments that you made. So in closing, I want to congratulate each and every member of the class of 2021. And I promise to let that ex-director of student life at Tatnall School that you not only made it, but you have done Tatnall proud. Congratulations. So without further ado, I would like to invite the first row to the stage to my left for the diplomas. Frank Ettore Echerno III. Brett Andrew Balthus. Omari Banks. McKenna Victoria Berry. Devin Benson. Holly Alexandra Brennan. Zayon Tyer Burrell. Giovanni Maddox Campanelli. Jinyang Cheng. Ann Cohen. Jasper Wyatt Curro. Gregory Anthony Dado. Colby Hunter Davis. Yu Hong Dong. Gabriel Alexandra Wojciech Dobchaleski. Brianna Sadia Dodson. Emma McLean Donovan. Eleni Essick. Mia Rose Farina. Julie Laura Mansfield Griswold. Anya Amelia Halligan. Ellie Ann Hiller. Daniel Joseph Holland. Martha Virginia Holler. Vanessa Jade Howard. Micah Yodi Jacobson. Amanda Grace Janas. Isaiah Warren Jarrett. Daniel Thomas Johnson. Nathaniel Locke Jones. Luciana Marie Kerr. Naila Renai Kelman. Bridget Nitowski. Larson Olivia Karengel. Neville Singh Lapalainen. Catherine Peachy Manning Green. Nitin Sivadas Marath. Ashley B. Marvel. Taylor Brailsford McCoy. Declan McDonald. Carly Bowden McHenry. Luca Massimo Michelucci. Sophia Marie Mitchell. Rachel Ann Palla. Rebecca Colleen Pavese. Jane Parker Caswell Penn. Courtney Prescott. Catherine Elizabeth Diaz Pupek. Gage Ponder Perzicki. Ariana Pia Scalia. Bryce Andrew Scott. Wenpei Shao. Pierce Edward Smith. Mia Isabella Stryker. Clara Noelle Tessier. John Lewis Tigani. Misha Kai Toomey Brown. Bijan Ivan Torres. Michael Joseph Walter Dillon. Jack Panero Wilkinson. Corey Bertrando Williams. Michael Jeffrey Wolf. Nelson Christopher Wood. And Rutian Zhang. Ladies, gentlemen, honored guests, everybody beneath the tent, the class of 2021. Well done. And now I invite four conductors, senior class conductors, to sing the school song to us. Colby Davis, Eleni Essick, Julie Griswold, Ellie Hiller. So as they spread out to face their peers, conductors, go ahead, get them started. Start playing. Go ahead, Mayor. Yep, we're going. Now follow up. Process out.